Have you ever wondered why some seniors leave their doctor's appointments feeling unheard, frustrated, or even more worried than when they arrived? The answer might surprise you. It's not always about the quality of care or the doctor's bedside manner. Often, it's about the words we choose to say, or more importantly, the words we don't say. What many older adults don't realize is that certain phrases they use during medical visits can actually work against them, creating invisible barriers to the care they desperately need. These seemingly innocent words can lead doctors down the wrong path, cause important symptoms to be overlooked, and ultimately put your health at serious risk. Today, we're going to uncover 5 dangerous communication patterns that could be quietly undermining your medical care. These are phrases that sound polite, respectful, or even wise on the surface, but carry hidden consequences that could change the trajectory of your health. By the time we're finished, you'll have the tools to transform every doctor's visit into a powerful opportunity for healing and hope. If this resonates with you, I'd love for you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Together, we're building a community of empowered seniors who refuse to let age dim their voice or limit their possibilities. The first silent health thief. Everything's going well. Picture this. You're sitting in your doctor's office, and they ask how you've been feeling. Almost automatically, the words slip out. Everything's going well. It sounds positive, reassuring, maybe even mature. But what if I told you that this simple phrase might be stealing years from your life? When we automatically respond with everything's going well, we often mask the subtle changes happening in our bodies. That persistent fatigue you've been brushing off, the slight changes in your vision, or the way your balance feels different than it used to, all of these get buried under for seemingly harmless words. The psychology behind this response runs deep. Many of us were raised in an era where strength meant silence, where admitting struggle felt like admitting defeat. We learned to soldier on, to never be the one who complained or caused trouble. But in the doctor's office, this noble instinct can become our greatest enemy. Consider the story of Eleanor, a vibrant 73-year-old grandmother who prided herself on her independence. For months, she noticed subtle changes, moments of confusion, difficulty finding the right words, brief episodes of disorientation. But when her doctor asked how she was doing, she invariably replied, "Everything's going well." By the time Eleanor finally shared her concerns, what could have been managed with early intervention had progressed into something far more complex. Her journey back to wellness became longer and more challenging than it needed to be. The months of silence had cost her precious time and peace of mind. The devastating truth is that everything's going well can become a shield that protects our pride while endangering our future. Your doctor isn't looking for weakness when they ask about your health. They're searching for clues that could save your life. When you share honestly about the changes you're experiencing, you're not being negative or difficult. You're being brave, proactive, and wise. The second health saboteur. It's part of getting older. How many times have you felt something concerning in your body, only to wave it away with the phrase, "It's part of getting older"? This might be the most dangerous assumption we make about our health, and it's costing seniors their vitality, comfort, and sometimes their lives. When we attribute every ache, every change, every new discomfort to the inevitable march of time, we rob ourselves of the possibility that something can actually be done. We surrender our power before the battle has even begun. But here's what the medical community knows that many of us don't. Age alone rarely causes the dramatic changes we fear. The psychology behind this resignation is understandable. Many of us watched our parents or grandparents suffer in silence, accepting pain and limitation as the price of longevity. We inherited their stoic acceptance, their belief that complaining wouldn't change anything. But medical science has advanced dramatically, and what our ancestors accepted as inevitable may now be completely treatable. Take the case of William, a 78-year-old retired engineer who began experiencing severe joint pain and stiffness. For over a year, he dismissed these symptoms, telling himself and his family, "It's part of getting older." He gradually gave up his morning walks, stopped tending to his garden, and resigned himself to a more sedentary existence. When his daughter finally convinced him to seek medical attention, tests revealed a highly treatable inflammatory condition. Within months of proper treatment, William was not only back to his daily walks, but had returned to competitive tennis, a sport he thought he'd never play again. The year he spent in unnecessary pain could have been a year of continued vitality and joy. The heartbreaking reality is that when we blame everything on aging, we may be overlooking conditions that could restore our quality of life dramatically. Your body is remarkably resilient, and modern medicine offers solutions that previous generations could never have imagined. Don't let the assumption of inevitability steal your chance at continued strength and independence. If you're finding value in these insights, please take a moment to comment. Helpful below. Your engagement helps us reach more people who could benefit from this life-changing information. And if you haven't already, subscribing and hitting the notification bell ensures you won't miss the wisdom we share to help you live your best life at every age. The third communication trap. I don't want to take up your time. There's something profoundly heartbreaking about watching a senior apologetically rush through their medical concerns, constantly glancing at the clock, worried about being a burden. The phrase, "I don't want to take up your time," might sound considerate, but it's actually a form of self-sabotage that can have devastating consequences for your health. When you minimize the importance of your visit, you send a subtle but powerful message that your health concerns aren't worthy of attention. This creates a ripple effect. Your doctor may unconsciously mirror your urgency, important details get rushed over, and crucial connections between symptoms might be missed entirely. This behavior stems from a lifetime of putting others first, of being taught that your needs should always come second. Many seniors carry the psychological weight of not wanting to be seen as demanding or difficult. But in a medical setting, this selfless instinct can become genuinely dangerous. The story of Patricia illustrates this perfectly. At 71, she began experiencing episodes of chest discomfort and unusual fatigue. But during her appointments, she would quickly mention these symptoms while simultaneously apologizing for taking up the doctor's time. She'd glance nervously at her watch and rush to reassure her physician that she was probably fine. One evening, Patricia collapsed in her kitchen. Emergency tests revealed significant heart disease that had been developing for months. The symptoms she'd mentioned so briefly and apologetically were actually urgent warning signs that deserved immediate attention and intervention. Her desire not to be a bother had nearly cost her everything. The painful truth is that your health is never an inconvenience, and your concerns are never trivial. Every moment you spend in that office is an investment in your future, your independence, and your ability to be there for the people you love. When you claim your right to comprehensive care, you're not being selfish, you're being responsible. The fourth dangerous surrender. You know best, doctor. On the surface, you know best. Doctor sounds like the ultimate expression of trust and respect. It seems humble, wise, even appropriate. But this phrase represents one of the most dangerous surrenders you can make in a medical setting. The surrender of your own voice and decisions that will directly impact your life. While doctors possess invaluable medical expertise, you possess something equally important: intimate knowledge of your own body, your values, your fears, and your goals. When you completely defer all decision-making, you risk receiving care that may be technically sound, but personally wrong for your unique circumstances. This pattern of complete deference often stems from generational conditioning. Many seniors grew up when medical authority was absolute and unquestioned, when asking questions felt disrespectful or presumptuous. But modern medicine recognizes that the best outcomes happen when medical expertise combines with patient insight and preference. Consider the experience of Robert, an 80-year-old widower who had always been fiercely independent. When his doctor recommended a particular treatment plan, Robert immediately responded, "You know best, doctor," without expressing any of his concerns or preferences. The prescribed medication, while medically appropriate, caused side effects that severely impacted his quality of life and made him feel disconnected from the activities that gave his life meaning. Only months later, when Robert finally shared his struggles and preferences, Did they discover alternative approaches that addressed his medical needs while preserving his independence and vitality? The initial silence had cost him months of unnecessary suffering and diminished quality of life. The liberating truth is that you are not just a passive recipient of medical care. You are an essential partner in your own healing. Your questions, concerns, preferences, and insights don't challenge your doctor's expertise. They enhance it. When you speak up about your needs and values, you help create a treatment plan that doesn't just address your symptoms, but supports your whole life. The fifth and most devastating phrase, "Never mind, it's nothing." Perhaps the most heartbreaking words a senior can speak in a doctor's office are, "Never mind, it's nothing." This phrase often comes at the end of visits, when something important finally surfaces in their mind, only to be immediately dismissed out of embarrassment, fear, or misplaced consideration. This pattern of self-censorship can be literally life-threatening. Those small concerns that get brushed aside are often your body's earliest warning signals, the gentle whispers before the storm. When we silence these whispers, we risk facing much louder and more dangerous cries for help later on. The psychology behind this self-silencing is complex and deeply human. Sometimes it's fear. We're terrified that voicing our concern will make it real or lead to devastating news. Other times it's shame. We worry that our concern is silly, unimportant, or embarrassing. Often it's protection. We believe that if we don't mention something, it might just go away on its own. The story of Margaret powerfully illustrates the cost of this silence. At 74, she had been experiencing intermittent episodes of severe headaches accompanied by brief vision changes. During one visit, she almost mentioned these episodes to her doctor, but at the last moment, she shook her head and said, "Never mind, it's nothing." 6 weeks later, Margaret suffered a stroke that could have been prevented with early detection and intervention. The nothing she had dismissed was actually her body's desperate attempt to warn her of developing vascular problems. Her silence had stolen her chance for prevention and early treatment. The profound truth is that there is no symptom too small to mention, no concern too trivial to voice. Your body is constantly communicating with you, and every signal, no matter how minor it seems, is worth sharing with someone who can help interpret its meaning. What feels like nothing to you might be everything to your doctor in terms of understanding your health picture. If you're still with me and finding these insights valuable, please comment eye-opening below. Your engagement not only helps us reach more people, but also lets us know that this information is making a real difference in your life. As we reach the end of our journey together today, I want you to take a moment to reflect. How many of these phrases have you used? How many times have you left a doctor's appointment wishing you had said more, asked more, or shared more? The beautiful truth is that recognizing these patterns is the first step toward transforming your healthcare experience. Every future appointment now becomes an opportunity to practice new habits, to claim your voice, and to become an active partner in your own care. Your health story is still being written, and you hold the pen. The symptoms you experience, the concerns that keep you up at night, the questions that flutter through your mind, they all deserve to be heard, acknowledged, and addressed. You are not a burden to the medical system. You are the very reason it exists. Remember that behind every doctor's white coat is someone who chose to dedicate their life to healing and helping others. They want to succeed in caring for you, but they need your partnership to do it effectively. When you speak honestly about your experiences, you give them the greatest gift possible, the information they need to help you thrive. Moving forward, I challenge you to make a commitment to yourself. In your next medical appointment, practice sharing one concern you might normally dismiss. Ask one question you might typically keep to yourself. Express one preference you might usually suppress. Your future self will thank you for this courage. We would love to hear from you. In the comments below, share which of these communication patterns you recognized in yourself. And more importantly, tell us about one change you're committed to making in your next healthcare interaction. Your story could inspire another person to find their voice and potentially save their life. If this video has opened your eyes to new possibilities for your healthcare experience, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who could benefit. Together, We're building a community of empowered seniors who refuse to let age silence their voices or limit their possibilities. Thank you for being part of this important conversation, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you in future videos.